Roll call, please.
Mayor Connie Ball,
Here.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit,
Here.
Alderman Jeff Fancher,
Here.
Alderman Roger Gribble,
Here.
Alderman Mike Hansel,
Here.
Alderman Bobby Knight,
Here.
City Attorney Terry Hurst,
Here.
City Administrator James Fincham.
Here.
Thank you. Item 3 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the October the 11th, 2016 meeting. Do we have a motion to approve as written?
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. Item 4, I call on Vice Mayor Mike Profit, who has some recognitions to make.
I'd like to have Dave Perman to come up here with me too. He knows a little more statistics. We're not trying to go compete one against the other. Drive all of them. Everybody's represented our city and our county real well with a lot of pride. And we're meeting people now in golf that used to never be unheard of. But we're coming out number 1, have been for the last several years. Got some of them in college now playing college ball. All-Americans getting ready to graduate from Milton. Got 2 high school girls coming back. We've got another year. Really something to be reckoned with. We've got a little certificate for, but I'd like for David just to name each one of them and tell just a little bit of their accomplishments.
Well, first, I guess I'll introduce myself. I'm David Perryman. Most of you know me. It's a small town, but for those that don't, I'm the high school coach at Cobb County High School, first-year coach, but I've been around golf most of my life, so it's been a pleasure to help coach this team. We'll start out by talking about Cassidy. She's an All-American over here at Milligan College. Been on 3 conference championship teams.
Stand up.
Has really taken us to the next level of golf. Cassidy Gibson. Rachel Watts here. She is now a successful college golfer at Carson Newman. You guys know that place, a great school.
Stand up.
Mike Profit, definitely. I'll let you know about it.
That's the only thing Kathy and I had problems with. Her son of Carson Newman Milton. But we had a little misunderstanding of that. She comes back to beat from that now.
I'll tell you how well she's doing over there. The coach has already entrusted her with the recruits that are coming in, showing around campus. So she's doing a great job over there. We have Lorna Munn and Elena Perriman. They're 2 high school golfers, stand-up girls. They're part of an undefeated conference championship team.
All right.
Carrying that over a year, Rachel led us last year with an undefeated conference championship team also from last year. So we're undefeated throughout 2 seasons. This year we're regional and district champs. We're conference and district champs. We got beat in the region by a tough team out of Kingsport. But it's been really nice to see such support from our community. I couldn't turn around this fall season without somebody asking me about golf. And we can thank our local paper for that and just the interest of the community. We have a lot of people to thank. Cobb County High School, our new athletic director, Tracy Beats, is doing a wonderful job of not just my sport, but all the sports up there. It's really nice to see. Cecil Gillen at Smoky Mountain Country Club does so much for our community. If you haven't noticed that there's a charity tournament up there about every month, that's Cecil Gillen for you. He's really helping the community. He's doing a lot for junior golf. Can't say enough about what all they do for us. And people like Mike Profit standing behind us. It's been a great experience for me as a new coach. I look forward to next season. We have 2 seniors, so we're going at them really hard, and these girls are working crazy hard. It's a sport where you do a lot by yourself, and you get recognition in this setting, but most of the time you're out there all by yourself playing. So it's really been it's really good to see some positive results.
It could either been a beauty contest too, or a golf contest. Either one of the problems. So I'd like for these girls to come up. We've got another certificate for you, the city. So Miss Laura Munn. Come over here in front of this one. We won't get them all together before we. Miss Elena Perman. Miss Cassidy Gibson, Ms. Rachel Watts. And I appreciate them. Way to get to do this, and
Coach, get in there.
I want to get back and get to their studies real hard, so that's why I want to put them on there first.
Fine, I promise.
Good looking bunch in the middle.
We'll be keeping up with you, and it'll be big time next year.
Thank y'all for recognizing me.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. It's always good to do something positive.
Amen.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes, sir. Also, while I've got it, thank y'all, all these parents too. If it wasn't for y'all, they wouldn't have been there anyway. Oh, thank you. Got a thank you note from Douglas Cooperative. We've helped them with their Halloween party and Thanksgiving party, and they wrote us a thank you note. Just wanted you to know from the city's tried to do some things positive for them too. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Coach. Item 5, correspondence from City Administrator James Fincham.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item I have is, just to make you aware, we're about to put some more items on Gov Deals surplus property, and you all have a copy of the list inside the pocket of your binder. And there's 5 items. They all came from the street department. It's the old brush truck, a 2-ton dump truck, a 5-foot disc, the bed off an old wrecked utility, off one of the trucks, or utility bed that got off a wrecked truck, and the old trash truck, the oldest one we got out there. And so, just to make you aware and get a little publicity that it's going to be on there, but we would like to put those on Gov Deals and move those out, and of course bring a little money back in, hopefully. I also like to announce on December 2nd at 7 p.m. over at First Baptist Church, we will be having our 4th annual Christmas program. It'll be televised. There'll be entertainment involved, singing, and maybe some play activity. I'm not sure, like skits or acting. I'm not sure what all they're still working on the agenda. But just to make everybody aware, I'd like to invite you all to be there, and also, again, to get some publicity, to let the public know that that's an event we're doing again this year. Update on the roof. The roof is finally done, I think. We had some leaking issues during the construction phase. They're going to help with it some, and then some of it's our responsibility. It's part of the contract, but the roof is on. We've not had any rain since they got done, so we don't know for sure if we've been successful. We think we have, but until it rains, we won't know. And hopefully, for all our sakes, we'll get a little rain Friday night. Safe routes. The sidewalks up around the grammar school, if any of y'all have been up through there, that is under construction. They've already got some concrete down, and they're moving forward with that. And so finally, after years of stalled, spinning our wheels, we're actually getting something done. So I think that's a great step for something that started in 2008. Now we're finally getting it done. So that's one more thing we can put in our rearview mirror, and we'll be out of our way, and we can move on from. And that's all I got, Mayor.
Thank you, James. Next item is a couple of appointments to boards. Item A is the consideration of an appointment of a city council member to serve on the Cocke County Partnership Board. Jeff Faincher had contacted me and is interested in serving on that board if that's the pleasure of the council.
One thing, Mayor, if you don't mind, just to make it very clear, this is a seat on the board. It will be a 1-year term. This is a rotating seat on the board that rotates between the 3 governmental entities that make up the partnership: the county, the city of Newport, and the city of Parisville. And the county had the first their person served 1 year, now it's our year, and then at the end of this term, it'll be Parrettsville's time to have a person on there for 1 year, a council member.
Okay.
So this is it's not a full term, it's a 1 year term, but it's a rotating seat that belongs to the government agencies that rotates amongst all 3 government agencies, just for the record.
Right. Does anybody else want it, or do we have a motion to?
I make a motion, Jeff,
Okay.
go to it.
Second.
Got a second? Any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. You're the man. Okay, item B is the Newport Housing Authority had sent me a letter of request to put Mike Hannon on their board. This was the term of Gail Woods, and then Carlene Robinson finished out that term, and they have asked that Mike Hannon be appointed to that position on the board. That is an appointment of mine, but I always like for council to be involved, so do we have a motion to approve my recommendation or the recommendation of the Housing Authority?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I think it's a great choice. I think it's a great choice.
Yeah, Mike Hannon's good.
Yeah. Good.
I don't know the gentleman. What's his background?
Mike's a retired state trooper. State
Yeah, TBI,
Yeah.
he retired TBI.
Played ball here, went to high school here.
Very
Solid.
good. I just never run across
Oh,
him
yeah.
anywhere.
Lady's stepdaughter,
Good man.
good peoples I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Amen on that one.
Okay, all those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Opposed is no? Hear none. Thank you, guys. Okay, item 7, Tanner Preservation Alliance report.
Mayor, we have no report at this time.
Okay, honey, thank you. Okay, second page, item 9 is new business. Item A is consideration of the first reading of ordinance 2016-10, budget amendment for the city of Newport.
Mayor, I'll read the caption of that into the record. It's ordinance number 2016-10, an ordinance of amending the annual operating budget and capital program of the city of Newport, Tennessee, fiscal year 2016-2017.
Do we have a motion to approve that on the first reading?
Motion to approve.
I second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. Item B is consideration of the first reading of ordinance 2016-11, budget amendment for Newport Grammar School.
And Mayor, that's ordinance number 2016-11, an ordinance of amending the annual operating budget and capital program of the city of Newport, Tennessee, fiscal year 2016-2017 for Newport Grammar School.
Do we have a motion to approve on the first reading?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. Item C is consideration of ratification of Newport Utilities resolution to authorize applying for a rural economic development loan.
Mayor, I think Mr. McSwain on that.
Do y'all want to? You're welcome.
I appreciate the opportunity to, I think you have a copy of the resolution in your book. This announcement was made back in August that the rural development had, administrative part of the United States Department of Agriculture, had made arrangements with our local industry, RDG, manufacturers plastic parts and other. It's a very clean production plant down on industrial area. Have plans to expand their operation, and that expansion will result in the employment of substantial number of additional employees. And as I understand it, the wage rate at that plant is well above the minimum wage. So it's the kind of industry that not only employs people, but they don't have to have a lot of education. In other words, the people in our county, a lot of people will be qualified to operate and in this business. USDA is making a loan directly to RDG, and they're making a subsequent loan of $1 million to Newport Utilities, which will be used in conjunction with the original loan, or the first loan. And the first loan, is it $3 million or $4 million? It's a big loan, it's a lot of money. But, of course, when you get in talking dollars like that and you're lending money, that pricks my ear up right in a hurry. And what kind of security do we have? Well, we have not only RDG itself has to endorse the loan, but they have to furnish to us, to the city, to Newport Utilities, an irrevocable letter of credit from a substantial bank, which says if there's any default, the bank will pay the loan. So RDG's credit itself enables them to acquire that kind of letter of credit. So the paperwork has been going along. It's down to the point where I hope to close very soon, get some construction, get some additional plant facilities, get some additional jobs. But we wanted council to ratify the resolution that Newport Utilities has authorizing the execution of the loan documents, and that's why we're here today. We ask you to ratify that resolution, and if you will, and I don't know a lot of the details.
Most important thing to mention.
Zero interest.
Zero interest. I want some of that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we like some of that.
Yeah.
Also, what it's gonna do for the economy of Cobb County to Newport, it's sort of a no-brainer. I mean, do win out of it, I believe.
And council, the other thing is that this is a step in the direction of, they want to make some more loans to Cobb County. And we want to do all we can to keep that thing going so we can increase our industrial base. But any other questions, I'll try to get an answer.
What's your pleasure?
I make a motion, we approve.
You got a motion, second? Any other discussion or questions?
That's
All
a
those-
total $4 million, right? What's the, with the total project is $4 million. Okay, I got you.
Their loan is.
Appreciate y'all working hard trying to get us something in the county, in the
Yes,
city
this has been
too.
a project that's several of your people in our community, and maybe even here today, have spent a lot of time working on this project. And I think it's a fruition of the efforts of a lot of people, including the support from council. We appreciate that very much.
All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank
Thank
you.
y'all for what you're doing.
And I'd just like to thank Glenn Gray for the job that he did. I tell you, he had a big hand in this. If you've ever gotten an RDA loan or grant, particularly one with zero interest, that's heavy lifting. And it took a lot of work, I'm sure many pushings and shoving before that came about. So that's a difficult task to obtain that kind of money, and great job on Glenn's part. Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Item D is consideration of the strategic planning for Cobb County. Gary Carter.
Rocky said it might affect our ratings on the YouTube channel if we didn't have the... We're good? Okay. The document that you guys got last month is, and I got called out at the Newport Utility Board. Yes, sir. I got called out at the Newport Utility Board meeting because so let me just be clear. The statistics in there are old. It's the old report, but we're going to update the statistics and then use the same general plan as far as the strategic plan goes. So I am aware that it does say 2005 and 6 in there, just so we're clear on that. But if you guys had a month to look it over and go through it, if there's any big time changes you're interested in making, we can discuss it here. If you feel like it's a lengthy discussion, feel free to contact me or come by. But we felt pretty good about the general ideas in there because it is broad strokes. There's some specific things, but for the most part, it's just a general solid strategic economic development plan. But we had definitely, we got a lot of parties and a lot of investors in this, and city council is definitely one of them. So representing for the leadership class and Chairman Howery of the Industrial Development Board, I just wanted to ask you guys up front if I can answer any questions here, and if there's anything you want to discuss.
I just want to tell you thank you for the job you've done, Gary. You've done, see a lot of extra overtime stuff, job you've done. We just appreciate you. I can tell the difference in things.
Thank you, Coach.
Any future reports, could you increase the font size and maybe the copy?
We were trying to think of
some of us
paper conservation. I understand. I had that thought as we were putting them together, but
good job.
60 pages is a lot. So,
What's your pleasure, council?
well, I guess, Mayor, what I would just, because we do have to, in case maybe one of the other entities suggests some suggestions, I'm going to think probably not for December, but if I can give you guys a final draft for the January meeting.
So you don't need some kind of approval tonight?
Not at the moment, no, sir.
Okay.
But if you guys want to approve it, but then it could change. But again, it's pretty broad strokes.
Yeah, I think it'd be better.
Yes, sir. That's what I would recommend.
Okay.
Just come back, and probably won't get the updated version in December, probably first thing next year. Thank you all.
Thank you, Gary. Great work. Item 10, Section A is consideration of bids for a roof for the animal shelter.
Mayor, this is on here for discussion purposes only at this time. What we needed to do, we didn't really have an idea of what the roof was going to cost. So as of right now, there is no money budgeted to do the roof. And up until this point, in negotiations with the owners of the property, the Humane Society, the Friends of the Animal Shelter, because this is a pre-existing condition that was there when we leased the building. What we have agreed to in principle is to split the cost of doing the repairs. And so I haven't spoken to them in the last few weeks. I know Mr. Brannon's been kind of under the weather. He's been having some health issues. But we needed to get a number to work from, because he had got an estimate on getting all kinds of stuff done out there and not just the roof. And so we needed something that would specifically address the roof. And so these two numbers that you have here, the 9852 and the 18720, those are quotes or estimates or bids based strictly on labor. Those are just the labor costs. Now, in the last account I had, in speaking with Mr. Brannon, he said at that time they had $5,000 committed to doing the roof, but they were still trying to raise more money. It's been the opinion of our folks who have looked at it, our maintenance people, that if care is taken in removing the existing tin, the tin can be reused. And so that's one of the reasons we got a labor-only quote. In other materials, our maintenance people come up with a number of just under $5,000 in general supplies, and one of the things is insulation. To get the insulation, and I have the list here, a breakdown there. It's not in your package, I just got it yesterday. So you're looking at, best case scenario, you can add $5,000 to those two numbers, and that's if we can reuse the tin. Now, if the tin is damaged, sorry about that. If the tin is not reusable, you're talking about an additional cost there. So I just wanted to bring you up to speed on it, to show you the numbers and what we were looking at. And the next step, as I see it, is to talk with the Humane Society and see, are they going to be able to meet the height of this number, the low number, and then we'll come back next month and y'all would need to appropriate our portion of the funds to move forward. But I wanted to get that on there, and I wanted to get it on, for discussion, get it on the record to where we had a number to work with, because until now we didn't everybody kept saying, oh, put a roof on, but you need to know what kind of money you're talking about.
So we're looking at around $15,000,
If we can
materials and
reuse
labor,
the tent.
if you can reuse the tent.
Yes, yes, sir.
Y'all have any other questions on that for James?
Keep us informed.
I don't have, I'm sorry. I don't have questions, I just have discussion. We've opted out of the lease, and to let people know, yesterday, me and Mr. Gribble and Miss Tina and James met with Greenville, Tennessee, Greene County, I guess, animal shelters at their facilities, and had a productive meeting, almost to the point, this is me talking, almost embarrassing to tell them our situation. We have 200 plus animals, they had 60 over there, and theirs runs like a top. Their budget's half of what ours is, and it's consensus of us four that met. It's time to take that thing and not literally blow it up and start all over again. I'm not in favor of putting a penny back into it right now. That's just me talking out loud. I mean, we've heard they've had $60,000 and now they've got, they're trying to raise money to do this and do that. We've been asking for payments for them. I know it has been some, but not as proactive as they said they were going to. And I just think we need to get out of the animal shelter business right now. We have to do animal control, but I think we need to get everybody on board. There needs to be some lengthy discussions, including dragging in people. The people from Greene County could not believe there was not any cooperation hardly from our county in running the animal shelter. And it was Greene County that basically ran. It's just the opposite over in Greenville. The county does 80% of the funding and work. City does 20%. Here, it's reversed. We're doing 80% of the funding and almost all the work.
He said that the city of Greenville puts $34,000 in.
I about fell over when the man said that. I mean, of course, they get help from Mossheim and Baileyton.
Still just give that amount, though.
Yeah, they get that amount. Of course, they're not in the medical business, and I'm just, Roger and I wrote together. We're in consensus that we need to have some lengthy discussions about this before we, move forward on anything on the animal shelter. Yes, ma'am.
Does anybody know why the county has long taken the standard drugs?
I'd like to know that.
This just think over a period of years, it's just been what you handed down. And once you give a benefit or once you give an amount of money, it's just expected from then on, and it just got out of hand sort of for the city. It's not even close what we give to just what Greenville gave. And we're not trying to just compare, but I guess that's what you called it, though.
And every time something goes bad, I guarantee you this discussion is not going on over across the street. How come we're the ones that are having to say, okay, let's go in $20,000 more on a roof? It's not fair. I mean, it that makes sense, first of all. Second of all, it's not fair. And I'm asking you other guys for input, but we need to get out of this business because it's a drag on the taxpayers.
Another problem we've inherited. Correct.
Everybody up in Greene County kicks in, it's 2% or 1%, for these small communities, and then the county kicks in 73%, and the city's at 24%. And that's based upon the animals that come in from those different areas. Everybody's paying their share of that.
It's a lot bigger county than us to
property-wise. They had 60 animals over there in that shelter.
Yeah.
And they had inmates running the shelter for the most part, right?
Yeah, cleaning it.
Did all the work.
Yeah. And it's just not, the county mayor looked at us a couple times like.
It took 2 inmates to do it.
Yeah.
Ours is much larger.
Yeah.
The county mayor looked at us a couple times over there at Greenville like, y'all do what? I mean, am I right there?
Yes,
you almost thought it was a reality show.
Lisa, we appreciate what you do. I hope you don't feel like it. Or I appreciate you, and I think they do too. We know what kind of job you do.
Yeah,
work your heart
I'm not
out.
saying that.
Sometimes I feel like you're just spinning your wheels, but I'll tell you, appreciate the job you do.
Roger, what'd you get out of that, our trip to Greenville?
That was the same thing. I don't know how we, I guess what I was talking with Jeff about was, is there something that the county's doing that where they're paying a little part and we're paying a big part? And then is there something that we should be paying a bigger part on? Did we swap out on something? And I haven't found anything. I don't know how it ended up with the city paying the whole tab, or 80% of the tab, in the county and the other areas, municipalities, parish, Cosby, and whatever.
Well, it falls on deaf ears.
Yeah.
When you discuss it with the county.
Yeah.
And it's like, so what? But, we're going to stop. I mean, we're just going to have to say no. And I don't know what that means. Like I said, I'm not trying to throw dogs and cats underneath the bus, so to speak, but something's got to give. Something's got to give as far as the city goes.
Too long.
Lisa, are your calls sent through central dispatch?
Not all of them, unless it's an emergency call. A lot of our calls come through the shelter.
And plus her number, when you see the ad that they put in every issue of the paper, it has her cell phone number listed there. So a lot of calls she gets direct.
I was hoping there was some way of showing a breakdown,
Yeah.
city versus county, who actually uses the service the most.
But, the show, the way that we use to track it is the intake forms out there on the animals. The intake forms show where this animal came from. And where it was picked up by county animal control, city animal control, but most of the animals come by drop-off, where someone comes in and surrenders an animal, and he talked about that a lot yesterday too. But, and so you have to, if you came, they get your name, your address, and so that shows that address is in the county, those dogs came from the county. If it's in the city, it came from the city. But the lion's share of the animals aren't picked up by animal control. They are dropped off by individuals.
And they handle them for 3 to 5 days, and they're handed over to Humane Society, and the city and county is out of the business. Bottom line, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't care if they make $100,000 on each animal they send to Cleveland or whatever the case may be, but Greene County's in disbelief, and all these other counties surrounding are do the same thing. And here, while we're the exception, I don't know, but something's got to give for us, our taxpayers.
We need to sit down and discuss this sometimes, come up with a consensus about it.
Okay, moving on to item B is consideration of bids for a utility vehicle for Parks and Rec. Tim is approaching the bench.
I think, Tina's, you've got the bids, the
Right.
numbers.
We had two come in, one from Tri-County Power for $8,712. The other one was from Alpha Outdoor Power. It was $11,499. And Tim did indicate before that he was good with the Kubota unit from Tri-County, which is the lower bid. And these are from budgeted funds.
These are from budgeted funds.
It'd be a lot easier to get the service and everything done in Tri-County, it's a lot closer.
Well, the amount of money that we budgeted for that line item, the Gravely is about $1,400 more than what we budgeted also.
We just need to vote on it.
Yeah, Tim recommends Tri-County at $87.12.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
Got two motions.
Got two motions. Somebody's going to have to give up one.
I give up mine, I'll say.
Okay, all right. So Tina can get the record straight here. Any other discussion?
I hope this winds us up for the year, for this budget period on this vehicle buying. I mean, my goodness, we have bought vehicles, seems like every other meeting. Two sedans,
Is that correct?
and then all these cars, and then this. I know, because it's in the budget, doesn't mean we have to spend the money, but I think we're going a little overboard on our vehicle buying.
It's almost like,
everybody's getting vehicles.
I think we've had to play catch-up. I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm like another one.
Yeah.
It's almost putting us on level playing field. I'm not sure who we're trying to compare ourselves with.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with him that, I'm not I'm not a guy that's going to sit there and speculate on everything you move because you're in a position to do what you're supposed to do. I don't think you'd be asking if you didn't need it. So, but I totally agree with you.
Yeah, we've got 3 will be listed on govs.deal too. Gov deals.
Nothing's been done in the last 15 years, 40, it's really.
Well, we're putting in a 92 golf cart and a 94 Gator, so that's how long it's been.
And you've touched on it, and I know it, and I hear it. I had a gentleman make a comment to me today, a well-educated businessman who talked about that he felt like $60,000 a vehicle was an exorbitant price for police cars. And I said, well, if we were spending $60,000 a piece on police cars, I'd agree with you. That's a lot to spend on one. He said, well, I heard that's what y'all are spending on these new police vehicles. And I said, Lord no, son. I said, and I said, it's in the $25,000, $26,000 range. Oh, is that all? Well, that wasn't what I heard. And I said, well, I don't know where you're getting your information. But there's a lot of bad misinformation out there that gets spread around through social media, gossip, whatever. But, we're trying, and you touched on it, we've went for years and years and years and not bought anything but police cars. The other departments, and I'm getting ahead, this is about a tractor, but we do have 2 more cars in the budget that are for the Parks and Rec department, that are for the street department, and, you've got to play catch up at some time, and then you're good to go for another 10 or 12 or whatever years. But all the chickens come home to roost. We talked about it during the last 2 budgets. We talked about it with the tax increase. I had a gentleman again today hit me about the tax increase. Couldn't you do 25 cents and do more later? And I told him, and I don't think a lot of people realize the facts, no matter how hard you try to educate them. And I told him, I said, and he, again, a businessman, a different one, but I said, 10 cents on the tax rate brings in roughly $145,000. And he kind of made a face like, well, I think a lot of people think that a penny brings in hundreds of thousands of dollars or something. A penny brings in $14,500. That's all it brings in. And I told him, I said, we were borrowing $600,000 a year just to operate on, keep the lights on, keep the wheels rolling. And that's roughly 42 cents on the tax rate, just to break even. And that don't get into replacing anything or fixing anything. And he said, well, I didn't realize that. I didn't know all that. Well, we've talked about it and talked about it, and I didn't say this to him, but this is what's going through my head. We've talked about it. I've talked about it on the radio. It's been all over the news media in every way, form, and fashion. And people still seem amazed when they hear the numbers. Was that all? Or was that what? Well, I didn't realize that. And I don't know. I don't know how you educate them any better than the way we've been trying to go about it on why we needed a tax increase and where it's going. And again, during the budget process, we put all this stuff in the budget, trying to knock it out as fast as we can and live within our means. We're not going in debt. We're paying our way, and we're trying to knock this stuff out. And we're trying to do it as fast as we can. If we didn't do that, and we talk about this a lot amongst ourselves. And again, I'm not preaching at you all because I've told y'all that. I'm trying to get this out for people to understand because it's on TV. And again, trying to educate the public. If we didn't need to spend all this money, why did we need a tax increase? We didn't. If we don't need to be buying and replacing stuff and fixing stuff and building stuff and tearing stuff down and doing all these things, well, we didn't need it. Spending it proves we needed it. Now, wasting it, no, and we're not wasting any of it. I hope we're doing everything we can to make sure every penny is spent the way it needs to be and goes as far as it'll go. But you can see just in the few things we've talked about here tonight, there's a multitude of issues that we're trying to address, and some of which we talked about a little bit tonight before the meeting, knocking around. We've got the Tanner building we got to try to fix. We've got the grammar school needing a roof. We've got a lot of things we got to pay for. But you got to keep trying to knock them out because there's something else in line coming along that you're going to have to do next. And until you knock this one out of the way, You can't start focusing on this next one, seeing where you are financially. It's like carrying, I don't use a debit card. I carry cash in my pocket. A lot of people make fun of me. I'm a dinosaur, I don't want to use modern technology. Well, son, when my pocket's empty, I quit spending. I don't keep piling on a card. And so the way that we're trying to approach this the same way. We're knocking these things off, and then we're seeing where we're at and what can we afford to do next. But if we keep putting off, that's what got us in the boat we're in now. Is kicking it down the road, do a little bit now, a little more later, and finally that builds up on you. You got to burn, you can't get across.
Yeah.
It's costing us more to keep equipment up. The people in the city, the garage, and all that said, it's costing us a lot more to repair and keep this stuff up it was to buy new, and you still got a piece of junk when you get through with it.
I told the guy today that was also talking about our $60,000 police cars. I told him, I said, the Chargers, they were about $1,200 cheaper a piece, but at 80,000 miles, they flew apart, and you had to spend thousands of dollars on them to keep them running because the warranty won't go that strong on a police car that's on the road all the time. You don't get 5-year, 100,000-mile warranties on police cars. And so you save money by getting a vehicle that's going to last you much longer. You spend $1,100, $1,200, $1,400, $1,500, and you don't have to spend $2,500 in repair bills to keep it running. You've saved money. It's the same way with these personal vehicles. We've took beatings over that, going to personal vehicles with the police cars. Study after study has shown in the long run it saves you money. Yes, there's a startup cost, but over time you save money. It's an investment moving forward in the future, trying to be strategic. And so it's a proven thing that it's been proven by study after study after study by large departments that have done it over and over and over again. Mike can attest to it, he's seen them. And so we're just trying to use proven standards and ways of doing things that have been done by other places that work, and we're trying to use those things and move forward strategically and get us back, like you said, on a level playing field to where that now we've got some options. You've got to fix all the, you got to fix all the holes in the wall before you can paint it.
So we challenged you all with a 3 and a 5 and a 10-year plan, and it's unfolding. We can't stand unexpected, oh, by the way, we need this, that's not part of our plan. And the Newport Grammar School thing is unexpected, something that's jumped up in our lap. And we need to have discussions, we need to help Newport Grammar School. Yes, we do. Point blank.
Absolutely.
But we need to have discussion with them, probably not tonight, but we want to discuss. We know there's some representatives from the grammar school here, and some of us have talked about it, how we want to handle that.
Both of us like to have a little more information on some things, and we're willing to go up on the roof and look, and not trying to make a decision to go with somebody that tells you what type of shape it's in. We'll go with you. We'll work with you. I know Nick and them were talking about it some. Don't mind a bit trying to help, but just like to be able to talk intelligently to people about what we see. And all of us fully agreed on that part of it, and that's okay with you all. We'll work on it.
I've been up there, so anytime you just come and get me.
It only leaks when it rains, right? It only leaks when it rains.
I wish it rained so we could come see you.
I still want to find out if mine's quit.
Or as you find the police car situation has been a lot better for you, hasn't it?
Once we get them in place and get them active, we've got cars that were purchased in March, and they're over 40,000, right at 40,000 miles already, because they get driven every day.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it wires them out quickly.
In regards to the expenditures, I don't think it's so much a comparison with other cities, but we do have to be competitive with other cities as far as maintaining and keeping the employees there.
Trying to keep employees, we're talking about people hadn't had a raise in 7 years or so, and trying to keep people here instead of just train them and let them go somewhere else. But
Look what you started, Tim.
Yeah, roll call.
I'm glad it focused elsewhere. I'm glad it focused elsewhere.
Tina, do roll call.
And when y'all gonna win a ball game?
I'm not going to ask you more questions tonight.
Alderman Jeff Fancher.
Start to,
No. Yes.
That's why it's still here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alderman Roger Gribble,
Yes.
Alderman Mike Hansel,
Yes.
Alderman Bobby Knight,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit.
Yes.
Well,
Thank
I
you.
apologize if I got long-winded on that, but it just kind of, I was just really shocked today that those two gentlemen were so misinformed on what the situation is. I wanted to get that out there so people can hear
I
that.
wish a lot of people would come down and talk to you, because we're trying to educate them. If somebody's got a mindset, no matter what you tell them, we're not gonna change anyway. But if they can be taught and things, we can help them.
Mickey, we good about getting together here soon? And I mean, it's kind of surprising. Do you all have in your budget like a repair fund, a rainy day fund? I know y'all come up with $100,000 somewhere to work on this roof. Is there anything like for the future in the budget for roofs?
It would probably have to be put into the budget with some along each year to make sure.
So
Tell you exactly money-wise.
I'm under the understanding that you all cut this and cut that to find $100,000. Is that, where did the $100,000 come from? Is that-
Probably, we have, that much surplus that we can use for, in case emergencies like this, but not enough to cover the full cost of the roof.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do, make sure you got enough money to find out some more information, put our part with it, because it's unexpected for us too, so trying to do both too. We'll work
I would
with you.
rather fix it instead of repairing, just putting repairs, because you're just putting on.
You can't repair it again, of what I've been told.
And we're talking about the original 1898 building.
Should be under warranty, shouldn't it?
I guess it has. Do we have any comments from citizens? See any? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask the noes.